Good afternoon all. Now we have gathered here for the second session of our National Conference RISE 2022. The session will start with a keynote address by Dr. PV Rao, Group Head, Vice President HR of Essentia, Hyderabad. Okay. He will be the session chair.
Very good afternoon all of you. I am Dr. PV Rao. I head Essentia as a Group Head HR. We have an organization. Our organization is spread in 3 continents. One is in the US and another is in Switzerland. And we have a manufacturing plant at Vizag and we have an R&D center at Hyderabad. Okay. This is related to science and management. Those people who are not interested, please, they can walk out. Okay? Yeah. So my presentation is on study of HR practices on innovative pharma companies and contract research organizations. There are more than around 50 lakh people are working in CROs in India. The same number of people are working in US. Around 15 lakh people are working in UK. Contract research organizations have become the backbone for pharma industry and food industry. I have done my project, I have done my PhD on this topic. So what is contract research organization? So contract research organizations involved in testing of pharma products. You see, there are so much of drug development is happening or food development is happening across the globe. So a single company cannot do everything of the operational process to ultimately innovate a product. There are multiple hundreds and thousands of processes are happening. You take a drug, for example, you say recently coronavirus. It is not done by a single company. Hundreds of companies were involved in testing of the product, documentation, many things, and finding of the safety product, safety aspects, etc. So same the case with any other drug. So when the company wants to innovate a product, right from the innovation, that is discovery, to the end product, so many companies are involved. So many companies are offering services in terms of innovation, in terms of development, testing the product on preclinical as well as clinical. Preclinical means testing the product on animals and testing the product on human beings, etc., etc. And documentation process on par with the regulatory agencies like US FDA, etc. So in the process, there are hundreds of companies are there which is providing a lot of employment for the skilled manpower, very skilled manpower. It is a highly knowledgeable organization, knowledgeable sector. Ordinary guy cannot enter. A fresh MSCs I have recruited around 10 people in Andhra University around 1 week back. They need to undergo severe training for more than 2 to 3 years in order to meet the corporate requirement, industry requirement. So here, if at all you want to go for a food product or a pharma product, CROs play immense role in ultimately identifying and finding out or innovating a new drug or a new food product. So contract research testing organizations or CRO is a highly knowledge-based, experienced personnel are required, and it is a highly risky industry. Highly risky industry. I'll catch you up in due course of my time. Next. So as the technology is evolving on a very faster speed. If you have seen around technology around 10 years back, it was not so speed. Now every machine I purchase spending around 10 crores, it is becoming obsolete and useless after just 1.5 years time. So it has become very technology advanced industry and very lot of investments are required. The machine I purchased around 10 crore rupees, it is becoming obsolete and useless after 1.5 year, 2 years time. And before it becomes useless, I have to make money out on that. So lot of risky industry it is. Contract research organization or contract research and testing organization or CDMO, contract drug manufacturing organization, etc. So my paper covered around 350 CRO professionals from 32 contract research organization spread across Hyderabad, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Baroda, Chennai, and a few people from US, especially there's New York City. And I analyzed all the data. I have taken up all the business parameters to run a CRO company, like quality assurance, like sales and marketing, like business development, like HR, operations, etc., etc. Everything I have taken up and I evaluated the parameters. So the objective of my study is this, to study the business parameters adopted to CRO companies. There are many CRO companies are getting closed. The people who are very strongly knowledge-based companies, where intensively technological advanced companies are able to survive. Most of them are multinationals, are Indian giant companies. And small companies like you and I start with a minimal investment or minimal knowledge power. They are not able to succeed. So my study was, what are the business parameters which are required for CRO to run a CRO industry, and how to cope up with the challenges, and to evaluate whether it is significant correlation between business practices of small, medium, large companies. There are a good number of large companies, or many medium companies, and many small companies across Hyderabad, across Chennai, Ahmedabad, etc. So how to correlate their practices so that they will be able to grow in the industry. And to this a particular human resource factor, because I am an HR guy, I have intensively studied the human resource factor in establishing a CRO and developing it and growing it, matching the MNCs. That is the study I made. So the first factor what I studied is HR climate. Whether the company requires HR climate, whether the people working in the company, there may be around 10,000 employees in an organization like GVK, there may be around 2,000 employees working in Vimta laboratories, there may be around Origin, that is Dr. Reddy Lab subsidiary, is also CRO, a clinical trial company, which has got around 2,200 employees. Whether all these people really they feel the need of HR in the company, what type of HR practices they are looking into, whether they really feel the presence of HR in the company, that is what I analyzed. And next slide. The thing is that large companies, they wanted that HR may be there, may not be there, because they are all grown-up companies, their salaries are very high, the environment climate, they are only looking to the HR, what you call organizational climate rather than the HR climate. The medium and the small and the medium-sized companies, they look into the really to HR factor. They always want HR to be there to support them in terms of their getting training, knowledge-based training or technology-based training, their compensation, their problems in the organization to grow, etc., etc. So the large companies need to concentrate on HR in terms of developing the organizational culture as well as HR culture, whereas average and below average companies, that is medium and small companies, require intensive HR intervention in their day-to-day practices, day-to-day operations. If HR is not there, their potential HR is not there in a company, the company needs to be closed. There are organizations which have started without HR because the proprietor himself takes care of HR, proprietor himself takes care of the operations. Those companies succumb to failure within a short span of time. So the scientific competency, this is a knowledge-based organization, knowledge-based industry, knowledge-based sector. Until unless you are knowledgeable, it's your qualification, your MSc organic chemistry or a PhD organic chemistry or a analytical chemistry or you are a MBA from statistical data or data management. These are all the core jobs in CRO sector. So until unless you are very knowledgeable, you will not be able to get. You are only hardworking and vertical knowledge, it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out in a large company. You are hardworking, that doesn't work out. Doesn't work out in a large companies or a medium-sized companies. You should be technically sound and knowledgeable. That works out. That means the job, what you are doing needs to be understood thoroughly, 100%. And what you are going to do today, tomorrow, should have a clarity. The scientist should have a clarity. The employee should have a clarity. Then only you will be able to do in operations, either in organic chemistry specialization or analytical chemistry specialization or a quality assurance or a quality control or clinical trials or preclinical division or a diagnostic laboratories sector. Anywhere, this technically skills and knowledge determines and helps your hard work. The people who are having both technical and knowledge, those guys are going very faster in this company. I have seen a lady, I recruited a lady in 2008, one Miss Ramya from Andhra University, from Pharma student. That girl has become, within 5 years, she became a manager. I took her around 2.2 lakhs CTC. Now she is drawing around 22 lakhs rupees CTC. It is an exception, but she has grown like that. There is an opportunity for the knowledge and technical knowledge as well as a theoretical knowledge about the experiment, what they are doing, and overall communication skills that help the person to grow in the organization. So, this is not required, yes. So this is a recruitment policy. Recruitment is very rigorous. We don't when we go for a recruitment, campus recruitment exercise, otherwise experienced guys, we don't look into first we look into the attitude of the person. Because attitude matters here. You need to have a lot of patience. You should have the right bent of mind to learn and relearn. So a person who has got the basic knowledge, concepts may be average, but the guy has got the aptitude for learning faster. Those guys are having a scope for selection. And communication, written communication is very important because documentation in pharma industry is immense. What you are doing has to be noted down, every word and every sentence. And because the USFD fellow is sitting in US, and once he comes once in a year to test the drug, we need to show every bit of the documentation. The candidate, the employee is trained on knowledge as well as the documentation process. So once you are good at that, you have the basic concepts of your job role, and you have the documentation practice, and you have the right attitude, you are the hot cake in the industry. So that is the research says that it is not the only technical knowledge. That guy doesn't have communication, is a right attitude, doesn't have a right attitude, he is not selected. Earlier, 15 years back, those people are selected from very big universities and all. It was a big failure. Then average college, average university students which have got the right attitude and good at basic concepts of chemistry, concepts of management, concepts of statistics, concepts of analytical chemistry or organic chemistry or biological chemistry. These are all things required in order to be recruited. So recruitment, so we go for majority in the drug industry, we don't go for advertisement in the newspapers. You might have seen small companies advertising in the newspaper saying that, we want scientists, come for walk-in interview, this. But we usually go for referrals. That means a candidate should have a good networking things so that he is known to other people, so that people refer his name in the industry so that he will be able to recruit it. So we go by referrals of our own employees. I have around 1,000 employees, and 1,000 employees, I say that there is a vacancy. I get around 15-20 CVs, out of which I look into that. If I am not satisfied, then only I go to Naukri or a Monster. Or I never go to newspaper or consultant. These things I'll never go. So majority of the companies in CRO industry, they go by referrals. That means that you should have a wonderful network in the CRO industry, in the pharma industry, etc., in order to spread your image into other industry, other companies, so that you will be able to call for the interview. So employee development is the key factor in an organization. If at all I want to keep the employee for 5 years, 10 years in the same organization, HR job is that I need to develop the employee. My job is to develop the employee. Develop the employee means how? Many people, these youngsters who are having, the family is now consists of only 4 people, 1 daughter, 1 son, or 2 children concept. They are grown without any stress. And a small problem in the organization, people are getting perturbed and people say that this is not the right company, I want to leave. This is the environment. The generation is changed. They are not able to bear the small challenges in an organization. And people say that in a small issue, people say that why not I change a company? So I need to create a stressful, stressless environment. Some people look into that. And some people look at technical and scientific training. Most of the youngsters like you in the industry, they always look into this. Majority of the people look into, 22% of the people look into that people want a company. They want to join a company. They don't want a big company. They want to join a company which gives terrific scope for learning, terrific scope for technical trainings and scientific trainings, communication skills training, attitude training. These type of training facilities whichever have. Even in an average company, a medium company, people are joining and people are working for 10, 12, 13 years and growing in the career and staying in the same company. So this and technical and scientific training is playing a major role in a company to keep the employee for a long, long time. And environment conducive pursues academic work. That means, I also implemented this since last 2 years. The guy who joins with an MSc or MBA qualification, I ask them, I at KL University, Andhra University and all to pursue the PhD program. I give them the PhD scope. Once in 6 months, 2 people go and join PhD program. And I give all the environment for them to do their experiment on Sundays in the laboratory, in the office. And environment career product driven work and stipulated timelines. This is the area which actually employees are not liking it. Because in the CRO industry goes by timelines, that is called TAT, turnaround time. So it is not like a research company where you have the luxury of time, you can start your research now, you can end up your experiment after 6 months. Whereas in the CRO industry, the client dictates, I am giving you this work, please complete it in 3 weeks time, 4 weeks time, 6 weeks time, 2 years time, 2 months time. So same thing happens for an employee. So the turnaround time really bothers everybody if you are not successful in the experiment because it is all science. It is not like a clerical job where you do something on the paper or type on the computer and you get the answer. It is all science. You need to work on the laboratory or a working place in a manufacturing unit where you need to get the end result, end product. So ultimately it is the training and technical training and scientific training and attitudinal training or communication skills training. Those companies you need to look into. It may be average company. Why people join Infosys though its salary is very less? Why people join? Why people join IBM? Their salaries are not, their CTC is not that good. When compared to Microsoft or we compare to even a small startup companies. Their salaries are not good, but still people join because 6 months intensive knowledge and technical knowledge and theoretical knowledge training is given in Mysore. So here also in pharma industry also, these things take a major role into that. So when I want to develop an employee, I need to ensure that as a HR person, I need to ensure that right from the day one, he is properly groomed by the seniors and properly trained at various subject matters, and so that within 1 year, 2 years time, he will be able to develop himself. He will become a hot cake in the industry, so that any company can go, any company can tell him, hire them, and every company will be benefited out of that employee. So this is attrition, that 30% attrition in pharma industry. Why? Why 30% people are losing jobs or leaving the companies in pharma or IT industry? The reason is because they want a stress-free environment, they don't want to take any risk, they don't have good knowledge, they don't have the right attitude to wait for the result, they don't discuss, they don't learn from others. These are the things that are happening in every company, in a large, medium, small companies. There was a survey saying that 30% of IIMs leave within 6 months. The average salaries are around 31 lakhs for an MBA guy in IIM, and these people leave within 6 months' time. Why? It is not that they don't have knowledge, they are not hardworking, but it is only the attitude. They are not able to cope up with the industry culture. So here, see, growth, only small CROs where the salaries are average and exposure is average, those people want to leave the small companies, small CROs, small pharma companies for growth opportunities. And you see large opportunities, these guys, these guys are well placed in terms of starting salary or other comforts, other benefits, but still they want to leave. They are leaving the companies because of organizational culture. I take a person around 10-year experience, and if I don't provide the culture in the company, good culture to him, and that guy thinks of a job, another job within 6 months' time. So salary part, small and medium CROs, they always employees look into that. And technology adoption, these are the small CROs, because small CROs, as I told you, they are all highly investment-oriented industry. They will not have multiple versatile, highly technological instruments or laboratories in their organization, because they are small or medium. They are always small company CROs employees. They always look into, they want to learn better, so they leave. And promotional advantages, overall health of the organization, position of power, always large company guys always wants to leave the company for the, now I am a scientist, I want to go for a senior scientist, I want to become a group leader, I want to become manager, or a senior manager, or a AVP level, like that. So these are the things which are making the companies lose. As a HR person, I need to take care of everything. If I am working for a large CRO, I need to take the culture of the company is very, very good. So like that. So attrition can be managed considering all these factors, so that we'll be able to arrest the attrition, and company employees can stay at least 3, 4, 5 years without leaving the company. So this is what I explained. Yes. So ultimately, I would like to conclude saying that, you see, there are versatile verticals are there in an industry, any industry, whether it is IT or a pharma or a FMCG or medical or hospitalization, any industry, you say. But all these things, all these industry, BD, business development, sales and marketing, operations, or financial management, accounts management, even administration, everything revolves around HR strategy. If the company doesn't have strong and robust HR strategy, the company is going to crumble. That is the conclusion. Because everywhere I need to take care of that person, right from vice president to downtrodden, down below, so that the company will survive, department will survive, and company will survive. And the business strategy in the CRO industry, business strategy is not at all there. Only the proprietor or the MD or the CEO of the company will drive the business development, sales and marketing. It is not happening. Whereas you see the multinationals in Europe or US, they have got exclusive business development team. One guy is stationed at London, another guy is stationed at New Jersey, another guy is stationed at Japan, one guy is stationed at South Africa, one guy is in India. So there is a widespread business operations with keeping potential people. So now Indian CROs need to learn from this. We need to recruit people exclusively for business development and sales and marketing it is a global business. It is not that India, I'll sit in Hyderabad, I get Hyderabad business. No, like that. The person who is doing Hyderabad business, the fellow 80% of the business is coming from either US or UK. So when you don't have the representation of your company in the different places, versatile places, you will not be able to prosper in the industry. So these guys, these average companies, they need to invest. Banks are coming forward for further investments. Government of India is really encouraging recently, since last 3-4 years. Government of India is going all out in supporting the medium-size and small-size CROs, especially for food testing and pharma testing. So they are encouraging a lot. The guy who was struggling to get around 25 crores loan, now he is able to get around 250 crore loan. Because the opportunities are plenty. Indian CRO sector has grown up. It is a matured progress now. We can invest and we can progress. The world over pharma companies are showing interest on Indian CRO companies, like GBK, like Horizon, like Vimta Labs, like my company, that is, my company is a totally R&D plus CDMO, that is development and manufacturing. We develop a product right from the small scale, an idea, and we develop the drug and give it for clinical trial purpose or preclinical testing on animals. So each product, 1 kilo product may cost around 800 crores. If you manufacture a product of 1 kilo, after development of struggling of 2 years, the kilo product may cost around 800 to 1,000 crores. So these type of people, lot of opportunities are coming. Now we need to invest on highly placed technologies and recruit quality people, and then only we will be able to progress. This is it. Any questions? Any questions you have? Any questions? Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice of you. Nice of you.